Finally live again. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Hope everybody's okay. Hope everybody's all right. We need to make sure we are in. Okay. Was me got switch my stuff.
Yep. Now it's live.
Okay. Get the notification just came in. Good night, good night, good night. Back again with it. You gotta say good night to everybody. Definitely, you guys been waiting. Sorry for the late start, but we have to make sure everything is all right. Once again, welcome down to Shawndel&Leon's YouTube channel. Yes, definitely, it's all about the live every Thursday night from 11 to 12. Don't miss it. Tonight, definitely, we're talking about that vulnerability, and it's all about for the men. So we're not gonna waste no time like how we don't start like late. We're gonna kick off the ball game. We want everybody to give us a thumbs up as you check in. And fellas, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about the topic tonight. So first and foremost, I want to say good night to Lady Keisha from the Kieran Touch Foundation, our co-host. How you doing?
I'm great, and thank you again for part two of our mental health check-in.
Def-
As always, the views and the topics that we're discussing is not backed by any medical. It's purely our personal experiences. So just keep that in mind as our disclaimer as we kick it off again for
Word.
the vulnerability of men. Doesn't mean if you're vulnerable, are you weak? Talk to me, Fire. What you would think?
Mm. Put me under the bus right away.
Right away.
All right.
Right away.
This is we definitely want to hear from the men tonight,
Yes.
because it is a taboo thing, but it is also um questions that men ask too. You know what I mean? So it's not something that we are just going off the bat, or things that we see,
Okay.
or things that we witness in our communities. You know what I mean? So that's why the topic came up. It was stemmed from last weekend. It goes back, like she said, to contain Mental Health Awareness Month, and making sure that we're all right. But we also want to create a space where men do feel that they can be vulnerable, they can share, they can find that place,
Mm-hmm.
that space that they can trust to be themselves and not be judged.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And on that topic, definitely I embrace vulnerability because I don't feel that it makes no man shouldn't be felt that kind of way that it makes you weak or make you a punk or make you an idiot or anything like that. It makes you, you be more stronger in life because when especially when I was young, I wasn't thinking about vulnerability. You understand? I wasn't thinking about telling my partner certain things. I was a guy that, as a Gemini, I used to keep everything to myself. I had to get, like Sean is that person now I could open myself to and be who I want to be around. But I'm a guy that I just quiet, I stick by myself, I be normal wherever it is. But I gotta be around people that I'm open to, that I feel accustomed to, I feel comfortable with to speak about certain things or talk about certain things. And definitely my partner here, my wife, my G, my Dan, everything I want. I feel like when I meet to this age here, definitely I started to say, yo, you gotta open out. And still I'm kind of little locked. I'm not gonna say I'm full 100, but I'm getting there. Cause like I just said, I wasn't that kind of person. I'm the only child for my mom, so I'm a guy that, since my mom went to the Bahamas, leave me like for leave us. She went and spent a couple of years from since when she leave with me with my dad. He wasn't a person whereby I could speak. My mom was really the person I used to really talk to and express my feelings and talk to about anything. So I said to you, it got to be me partner. I got to get a partner whereby this is how I can feel comfortable. But since then, it has not breaking me. It has built me to know that all right, sometimes you need someone to talk to, and it's good to express yourself how you feel about certain things or certain things inside of you because people we sometimes we intend to keep certain things inside of we until it starts to mess with us, mentally more,
Mentally.
physically
Mhm.
more. Yes. So you need a partner whereby you could talk certain things, open yourself to, cause it's not good to have it locked away. But for the fellas, I'm telling you guys, expressing yourself to your girl or your woman or your wife, yo man, it builds you more better, stronger mentally. So that's my take on that, definitely.
And thank you for sharing that, Fire, because most people who know me know that I can say 90% of my friends are guys, right?
Hmm.
So they don't necessarily have the problem of expressing themselves. They have the problem of being vulnerable with the woman that they choose to be with, right? And they don't always open up. I was sharing this topic with a couple of my friends. Some of them are supposed to tune in tonight. I hope they, drop their comments or whatever. But from the American side of it, they was like, "Oh, we don't have a problem with being vulnerable, but we don't want to be a simp." I was like, "Simp?" I had to go Google it, and it was someone who was looking for the affection and attention of another. And it's not a pimp; it's a simp. It's SIMP. You can Google it, and it's usually a man, typically a man looking for the affection and attention of typically a woman, right? That hit me really hard. So if they are pouring out their money and pouring out their time and their energy, women oftentimes want to see it a certain way, right? And when they don't get it that way, and then a man really opens up his heart to you, and then an argument happens and you throw it back in his face,
That's it.
then
Mhm.
he's gonna shut down.
Mhm.
You will not get him to open back up.
That's the
You
next.
know. So
Go
it's go ahead.
No, I said that's the next thing I was to mention inside of my saying just now. So go ahead. You're right with that, with what you're saying. Real talk.
And sometimes it's not that we are throwing it up in your face. We may be bringing it back up when it's hot, and we need to not do that, but it goes also to, from my experience, again, it's only our views. Y'all Caribbean men are easy. Y'all tough. You're bred to say, oh, a man not supposed to cry. A man supposed to provide. A man not supposed to do this, that, Yep. You want to hit the thing on your what?
Throw
Wait,
my
can
hand.
hit
Throw
the
my hand.
fire?
You know, I was
Yeah.
good. Mm.
So because of that, oftentimes you don't allow a woman an opportunity to even get there with you because you feel like that's not what your position is supposed to be. So let's talk about that, Shawndel, supposed to be, and what you think about it.
Say that I was actually sharing. I was actually sharing to the live. Um, he said what a man is supposed to be, or what is them not being a simp or
Yeah, and
not
because
throwing
they,
it back
with
in
the
their face.
yeah, like it's a sign of weakness if a man shed a tear, so they supposed to be so hard that they're not, I told somebody tonight, I said it doesn't matter whether we female or male, we're humans first. And as a human, is no human that was born onto this earth that doesn't have emotion and should have the safe place to show that.
Yeah, but it's hard, and it does go back to what Fire said. And the same thing is trust. Is that person that you can open up to, and it goes for all of us, right? So it's not just when I was driving home and I was thinking about that, I'm like, it's the same thing with a woman. Women show emotions, yes, and we have most of our girlfriends that we can go to and cry, or we can go, to sit down and not feel judged. Men, on the other hand, when they do that, in the society, it makes them feel like, yes, they're less than, right? Or they were raised to be like, you a man, you got
Hmm.
you can't cry, you can't show emotion. And I think even for like us now, like the new generation coming up, that was when we were growing up. But the new generation now is like, we let them cry, like let them get it out, because as they get older, they will feel like, oh, well, my daddy told me I can't cry, my mom, because I'm a boy.
Right.
And men don't. So it doesn't make you less than if you show the emotion. Even Dale Bronner, we was at watching Dale Brown a couple weeks ago on his Sunday service, and he broke down and he cried. And he said,
Mhm.
I'm not going to wipe my tears because I wanted a safe place to where men that are feeling like they want to cry and they can't cry, I want them to see me cry. I want
Mm.
them to see the emotion that I have to let it out, right? So definitely it is a thing, but at the same time, yes, we know that there's the stigma behind it, like everything else. So
And
showing. Mhm.
when you talk about the safe place, right?
Mhm.
We still both have to be open enough for that place to happen, because even as women we can say, that we're vulnerable, and we can talk to our girlfriends, and me talking to you is different from me talking to my man, right? He's supposed to be, if we want to use the word supposed to be, he's supposed to be my safe place and my best friend, but what happens is when we go through this thing called life that we all go through, and that's the reason why we're talking about mental health tonight. When we go through this thing called life, it changes our view. Even as women, we put up that tough exterior, and we say, oh, we want love, but we don't trust a man to even come back into our life because of the things that we've gone through. So now we're asking a man to do something that was not, God didn't tell a man to respect his wife like he told us to respect our husbands. He told a man to love his wife the way that Christ loved, right? So in that I go back to logic with that. Why would, and I'm not trying to get biblical because I don't want to offend anyone, but why would he say that if a man was naturally born to have that type of love? He's not. So how do we now get our men to feel like they have a safe place where it don't have to be so rough every time you speak. You don't have to be so tough and so hard. It's okay for you to allow me the space to come in there and just like be there for you.
Well, I want to take a moment to say good night to all our viewers right now. Good night to
Hmm.
my sister Stephanie Boyce. Good night to Empress Lou on the line as well. Definitely, again, like you said, but I think it really do go down to trusting your partner, and to where it does. And look, relationship is hard work, friends is hard work, life is hard work, right? We all gonna go through different things in our life, but I really do think that it comes back to as well as knowing yourself,
Mm,
right? When
mm,
you know
hmm.
yourself, you'll react a different way. So now you'll be able to express yourself, and it doesn't always have to be yelling to get your point across. You know what I mean? But once you know yourself and knowing who you are, you can be vulnerable and not feel like you're being weak. And even if that person, let's say, a friend or even in a relationship, throws it back in your face, right?
Mm.
It doesn't, it just shows you who they are, and maybe they need to work on themselves or some healing and things like that, because you now that's grounded and know yourself, it's not going to break you or where you feel like I can't trust again, you know? And I think that's where we as people, as men especially, where we find ourselves and find our purpose. So once we begin to do that, then the dynamics do change. Your dynamic and how you respond and how you share and how you interact with people, it does change that.
And I'm going to challenge you with that. I love that word, challenge you. I can know myself, and I have chosen you as a partner.
Mhm.
How me knowing myself and you're guarded as a partner has nothing to do with me, right?
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, the purpose of this was to allow our men a space to know that, knowing ourselves, that comes, I feel like some of us as women, we are more used to doing that introspective look, right? And see, what did I do wrong? How do I correct it? Some men may not have had that same opportunity to have that. Because even as girlfriends, you know, we see as girlfriends, we're gonna call you out on your stuff if you really our friend. But you can go out with your boy and you can be doing something stupid and he ain't gonna call you out on it. Like if it was us, we'd be like, no, why are you doing that when your man at home? Some of us not, but I'm just saying it's more natural for us to do it. So with a man and him having that, how do we as women create that safe space? Because when you talk about trust is a big word, and it has so many different layers to it. So, how do we create that space for them to feel safe enough to trust us to share and open up?
I want to jump in. It's sticky. First and foremost, before I go any further into it, big up to everybody. GQ, shout out to you. Big up yourself, Alicia. Everybody that I remember. I just pinned the link in the comment section. Anybody that want to join the live, the door is open for you to come over and hear your side of your point. What you got to think about, what you got to say about this situation. Now back to Keisha when she said, "What do women them got to do?" It
Mhm.
does. I feel like Shannon style. This is why sometimes some man they say yo they want a woman like their mother, like like their mom with it, and it come back to it's like I don't know what y'all got to do, but it's like it does gotta make us feel like we could open to you guys, and it gotta be with something with I don't know if like I just don't know. It's like I stick.
Because you know what, Fire, when a man say he burned by a woman, right? The heartache that y'all feel is different from us. Y'all can dish it, but you can't handle it, right? So when you dish it or you get it dished to you, you can't handle it. So you put up even a bigger guard. You already have a guard. So when you say be like your mother, I get I understand where you're coming from with that, but on the other side, I don't want to be your mother.
I
I'm
know
not your mother, right?
that's a
So I,
like.
I don't want to be.
That's a little
I don't
thing.
want to be.
Just listen, or just listen and just what I mean. Like for instance, all right, good. When I meet Sean for the first time, right? All right, good. Like I'm talking about like not like meeting her for the first time, but like being around her. She teach me so much. She enlightened me so much in life with certain stuff. Now she's a person whereby she don't pick one side.
Right.
What was something you said get me mad? It's like I what like but
All right.
being around her so long now is going into 3 years being around her I developed to understand where she's coming from. And I feel like that's something is like thus is being that's how I get to open myself to her because I get to find it well, all right, good. She not gonna sugarcoat nothing. If she know this is cause she's find out the details for she say to well, so why that happen? What you do? Then I
What
can
you
say,
do?
oh God, oh Lord. And the boss I gone, but I didn't know. Then I can say, well, all right, this is the or this is the. And then she say, well, good. This is you don't feel like this the reason why thing. And then I can say, I never really see it on the level. I was just pun. I just went thinking that me right, but then we sometimes we know it does feel like every men we feel like all right, we right all the time, like we can't wrong, must listen. You know what I mean? And this is why sometimes I got a feeling must see this is why we don't want open to car. We don't want to hear what the woman going to
So you say we're chatting off, right?
The
Y'all gotta say
truth.
you're chatting off.
The
You're
truth.
chatting off. You chat. You chat. You chat.
And but it goes
no, I
both.
feel like it's no,
You know what? Ain't the truth, but it's like when you tell them something and
you.
it comes like oh, she's not me mother, right?
Right, but
Aye.
then no, look, right before that, right?
Yeah.
Chanel,
He
right
said
before
he
that, she
wants
said he
somebody
wants
like my
somebody like it.
mother.
You're
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah. You know,
You.
I don't need a mother, but then I want
Shit,
somebody like
shit,
my mother.
shit,
Confusing,
shit, shit.
Confusion,
confusing.
confusion. And
So
then
big up that so
don't let them
tycoon.
get hurt by a
I
woman
tell
in
you.
between that, and then they come to you, and
Hmm.
anything you say or any questions you ask, they don't want to open up and they want to answer you so raw and wicked just because of what they went through. They talk about what we went through. They couldn't handle the stuff that we go through, right? They would be somewhere underneath the bed somewhere crying.
Bully bad.
Yes, bad, 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 bad.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, so it does goes back to that. It's everything in one, but again, it's finding the person. I think, where I think we have to go back to communication and learning how
mm,
to communicate. Period. And that goes to communicating with your job. That goes to communicating with your friends. You know what I mean? It's like certain people would tell Fire certain things like, yo, don't do this, don't mess up, don't do this, or don't. They just tell him, you know what I mean? So if he gonna mess up is on his own. So I can be a witness and say where his friends them tell him certain things. You understand?
Before you go any further,
Yeah.
not cutting you, we need the fellas that is on the live right now to chip in and let us know what you guys think about the topic tonight.
Yes.
Can you give
So
them the topic
the
again
topic
before we
is,
continue?
do you guys feel weak being vulnerable? Can you be vulnerable and not feel weak? Can you share and open up yourself and not feel judged?
DJ Tycoon, I'm sorry, Dancehall Tycoon. Check in Bully Bad. They're in. Check in GQ. We want to hear from the fellas. Most of all, the fellas we want
Yeah,
to hear
because
from. So
this,
you guys could check
and the
in.
ladies are
And
listening.
you know what I mean?
They
Yeah, man.
want to know, because one of the
All
things
right, we
that,
see somebody checking in. Who's this?
we definitely want to know that we want you guys to feel comfortable talking about it. Because
yes,
I hear men say that all the time. Women don't want to hear the truth. Yes, we do. Nine
we
times
do.
out of 10, we know the truth anyway. We just want to hear it come out of your mouth.
Right, 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 right. And one thing that I love about, my guy friends, big up Chris if you on, big up Tommy, Eric if y'all listening, and Fire, of course. But the one thing that men are very honest, and they're brutally honest. And I was talking to Chris about it the other day. They feel like they got to frame stuff a certain way for us to be able to receive it. And I'm like, no, don't sugarcoat. Tell me. And I was like, well, most women don't want that. Don't tell me about most women. When you talk about communication, get to know what my communication style is. And just because we may have one blow up doesn't mean that I can't hear you or that I don't want to listen to you and hear what's what.
Real thing. Straight way of saying. Yeah, man.
But when we have one, y'all cut it off. It's like, nope, and I do that again because you cussing, you did this. So then you just go and you hold it inside. But
Well,
when we
I
go back
see.
to the mental health, you're holding it inside and you're not letting it out. Do you think we don't care that your mental health be good? We want you good.
Well,
We want you
Fire does that sometimes. He'll sing. Yeah,
safe.
me, I just gonna say nothing in this house. And I'm like, just say what you gotta say,
Yep,
Like,
just say it.
There's she. She's let any bear right there like. I want to hear what you're saying.
yeah,
Say what you're saying like ever hear. Who's that? Who's that? The man called Tycoon. Yeah, we hearing you
good
loud
night.
and
We
clear,
can
man.
hear you. Good night, Dancer Tycoon. How are you? How is Jamaica? What's
Can't hear
going
on
on
this
over there?
end fire.
So what's your take on this topic tonight?
Fire, we can't hear him.
We hearing him.
Yeah, y'all can hear him. You won't hear him, Keisha, but
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. Go ahead, Tycoon.
That
Can hear him now.
relationship, say, oh yeah, it's supposed to be balanced.
Mm,
Is what I
mm,
say? It's
Okay.
supposed to
yes.
be balanced. Some of the man them need to come out of them ego. Is what I say? Some
Mhm.
men are too self-centered. Cause sometimes we men will find a damn good woman, and as we Jamaicans have all the Korean, all the proverbs, we say one of them is basically cow not really know the use of him tail until
To
he
his
use it. So
God.
sometimes we have a good woman and we are farm full of ourselves and so on and so forth, and then it really costs us
Trouble.
the good thing
Trouble,
we
big
have.
trouble.
You see me, I
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
say?
Yeah, man. Straight tight.
Because some man want be gallus and want have multiple partners, and as them woman do something them quick for if you kill the girl and them look away there. Don't play the game if you can actually take certain things when time start reach back a year the worst step. You get what me I say?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah,
Straight.
you
Straight.
the when you
Isn't
say
it? So
balance, that balance that you spoke about, that balance, people don't know what that means. You see, they want it their way and their
exactly.
way only.
Yeah, them want have it for them way, like Burger King. It's
Hmm.
just like how Burger King tagline is basically have it your way. Most men just want have it for them way. You see what me I say?
Mhm.
And
Wow.
as me tell you, most men are ruled by ego. You see, my brother
Mm-hmm.
Leon, I'm a brother that from another mother, and whenever we have a reasoning, you see, if me
Mhm.
have something when me say you more true on board him take it into consideration. Cause we say one team, one dream team. And we say support don't be a ram goat, don't be a billy goat. You see what I say?
Mhm.
So at the end of the
Mhm.
day, we say teamwork make a dream work. And you see, once you know see you're not an eye in the team, everything
Right.
will go smooth like a silk. You see me? 'Cause I remember, greatness is not every single individual. I just you have to tell yourself say you're great. Cause you see, any man or any woman who believe in a Father God, it don't really matter the religion where you say. You see, once you believe in yourself and believe in a Father God, just know say you're great. And
Chill.
So
that's why
tell me
we say
this.
great is he that trusts in the Most
So
High.
tell me this. I understand what you're saying. So as a woman, right, with the
Yeah.
people that you're saying as a goat and they want to lead with their ego, for us as women, how do we move forward to get those people to open up to trust us? Because they still, I
All
don't
right.
think
Let
they're all
me explain
bad.
something to you. No, but listen, men are go open up when they feel like open up or to who them feel like open up to. You see what I say? Not every
Mm,
man say I go put certain amount of trust in a you. You
Mm-hmm.
see me? Over time, once they get close enough to you, then we put little trust in a you. But not every man stay that way. There's some man just in a them ego and all about themselves. You see me? I say, 'cause you have self-centered individual when you see you. You see, like how you will call in for your man and check in and say, yo, babe, say, all right, you're good, you eat, all the kids and everything. Not everybody out there are going to do stuff like that. You see what I say?
mm.
Not everybody out there are going to do stuff like that. So you have to mix them thing there. And as the ladies, all of the viewers, they want to take this advice from Tyke will never sell yourself short for no man. Never drop your
Mm.
standards for no man. Always look at yourself
Boo,
as a
boo,
queen. Tell
boo.
yourself say
I
you're a
was
queen
just
and a
trying to do
good,
that.
better, best.
Boop, boop, like-
A good, better, best. Is what I say, never you drop your standards for no man. Because at the end of the day, once him see women see that women can sense them thing the when time woman are selling themselves short.
Yeah.
Just like oh
Mhm.
it go vice versa, cause woman can sense them thing the when man are selling themselves short. Same way. You see it. So I personally believe so if you're in a relationship and it now work out, you just do some self-searching, you focus on yourself, you try if you just do what you have to do, go back to the drawing board, see where you make some errors, and so you calculate from there so and move forward as a stronger person. And that's why we say wanna kill you, make you stronger and wanna did not dash you away.
Yeah, it's definitely. I said the
Mhm.
same thing, but I always say moving on, even if you have to move on, even if it's a job, even if it's a friendship, is what you take away, what you learn from it.
Exactly.
So going into the next thing, you know, if it's you fault, right? That's one of the
Own
things
it.
I think like a lot of people don't do. They always try to put blame instead of seeing which way I could have handled it better, what I did, or what I need to change. So moving forward, I don't go into the same thing. So it's not just relationship. You talking that in friendship, you talking that job wise, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
All of those
Absolutely.
areas makes you vulnerable. So it's the same thing with
Exactly.
children, you know? So it's every one of us have that
Exactly.
what I need to do. So it's like even certain relationship, every job that I've ever had, it was like a lineup
For
into
the
the
next
next
one.
job
Hmm.
that was preparing me. from the previous one that I didn't
Exactly.
even know that I was walking
Remember, you
to.
know.
And sometimes that's why, in a way, we need to be vulnerable because we don't know what's ahead. You know what I mean? You still have to have that vulnerability.
Exactly.
Know
But check
what's
this out, Shawndel.
ahead.
Check this out, you see. You
Hmm.
have to have that level of vulnerability there, yes. But listen, at the same time, in a life, you have to lose a couple times before you're winning them.
Of
So
course.
wanna kill you, make you stronger. And remember, say each each mistake is an experience where you have to live and learn from.
Mhm.
Right.
Correct.
And just you have to live and learn from it and take the life lesson where you actually get from making that mistake, so it make you a better person going forward, even in your relationships or as a parent.
Well,
Mm.
we have to be careful with the words that we use as well. So instead of it
Exactly.
being a mistake, it was an opportunity, right? Because when we say the
E-
word mistake, it means that we messed up in some way. So when we put those words out there, then that's the narrative that we're telling ourselves. So we got to reframe that. So if it didn't work, what was the opportunity in that for me to grow? Because in my personal
exactly.
opinion, if you're not growing, you're dead. So as long as I
Exactly.
have life inside of me, I need to grow every day. So what
Bro,
what was it in that? And it takes two. Oftentimes when Shawndel was talking about even in relationships and people not wanting to realize, well, even at work, any kind of relationship, work, friendship, romantic relationship, when it mash up, it takes two to start it. It takes two to end it. And people oftentimes
exactly.
only want to look at the bad of the other person. And they have to look at, I contributed to this in some way. What did I do to contribute in it? It doesn't mean that if they did something that was a non negotiable for you, because everybody's boundaries are different, but you set those boundaries and they knew what they were and they did a non negotiable and you ended it,
Definitely.
it doesn't mean that you're wrong or they're wrong. It happened. So how do I learn from that not to allow that to happen again?
Because they showed
Exactly.
you it.
I
They
They showed me, right?
they
They showed
showed
me,
you it. So that's they showed you it. So once you show me who you are, it's two things I always tell people. Is either I can deal with it
or I
if this
can't.
person never changed, or I can't. And if you
Mhm.
know that you is something that you can deal with, yeah, then you leave that alone. So Lady Felicia said not only an experience but a life lesson.
Yes.
So it's
but
definitely
but,
life
but check this out.
lessons.
But check this out. Remember saying a life, not necessarily everyone is willing to change or go really set themselves or be adaptable to change.
Correct.
Some persons are stuck in a one gear
Mm-hmm.
because all right, a lot of persons probably feel like say or maybe relationship are like all right, most people me know feel like either relationship or maths are the hardest thing. But them wrong still the hardest thing of life. You not find nothing harder than life. You see me say?
Mhm.
And me say that to my brother Leon already. I want me break it down for him. He fly overhead him and say, I say, bro, and where you have it more? And where you get the mess in here from? The job. Come me say to man say, bro, a lot of persons have different perspective and I value each and every individual perspective and their opinions on certain things. But you see, life, you can't find nothing harder than life. 'Cause if you have 31,536,000 seconds in a 1 year, you feel like you can predict or what say 100 seconds out of that go and it go exactly like what you predict it. That's like trying to bring back the dead to life and make Peter walk on the water. You understand me? I say I try to do a
Mhm.
miracle right there. So I try to show you say each and single every single experience what we go through, just we have to make it work for us and make us be a better individual going forward because the greatest thing alive and sometimes you learn some little lessons where you know see you did have to learn.
Well, you said
So it
something. You
makes you
said
a
you
better
said
person.
you said some people are stuck in one gear, and that goes back to what Shawndel was saying. If you can rock with it or you can't. Oftentimes we see that they're stuck in that one gear, and we think or we have somewhere deep down inside of us that it's something that they're going to be willing to change it or work differently. Not trying to change a person, but just wanting to grow within themselves, and they're not. And it's okay. It's okay that they're not. And it's not bad that we're no longer talking. What's bad is when you sit
But
in it and not allow them to be who they are. So we got to
mm-hmm.
accept people for
But
who they are, not who we want them to be. And that's the whole thing with being
true, true,
vulnerable.
true.
Men have to show who they really are, not their representative, who they really are, because they talk about us giving them the trust and the space to get to rely on us. They got to give us that room by being truly who they are and not a representative. Both of us, women or men, have to do the same thing. Just be true for who you are and stand in your own truth. And I see some notes, but I can't see
Right.
people
But check this
Felicia,
coming.
out.
Felicia
But
said,
check
but in
this out,
order to
man.
hold on, Taki, one
All
second.
right.
Felicia said, but in order to grow, we need changes, right? So definitely, in order for you to grow, move to the
All
next
right.
level, to
We
move
see a
to
comment
anything.
from Felicia Johnson.
You still there, Sean?
Hold on,
GQ.
GQ. Hold on, GQ.
All
Hold on,
right.
let me
You
sort you
see,
out
Hold
so you
on.
it
could
still
come through,
falls
because
back to
nobody
what I
can
said
hear you.
before. Cause remember, the life is all about changes while
Just a minute. Just a minute, GQ.
But change and growth are two. Change and growth is two.
Just a minute.
Um,
All right.
can
actually believe in yourself, you stick to your craft, you stick to your gun, you stick to
Welcome,
everything and
GQ.
anything you would
Mm.
put in the necessary
Yeah, yeah.
work
yeah.
to start achieve more, make more money from a one room to a mansion, maybe a apartments, condos, the whole works. So the necessary changes in life we're gonna apply ourselves and see, oh yeah, there is no limit. 'Cause I mean I believe in that the sky is the limit. I tell my bro that,
But
I tell him say, yo, I personally believe, say, the sky is no limit. How can the sky be the limit? Even though I know say, yo, it's a figure of speech, but me still not like it. Because how can the sky be the limit and the galaxy is infinite? Tell me now.
Mm.
well,
GQ?
we're gonna let GQ speak on it. But change and growth
Mm.
is two different things, and we'll come back to that. But go ahead, GQ. Welcome.
All right, welcome
Welcome them.
to everybody that's on the show, right? It's a hot show. I just got to get full details of what's going on. But I'm going to touch on one thing, like the brethren just said. You want to know how come the sky is the limit and what's not. The phrase, why they use that phrase, because it's a metaphor to give you an opportunity, whereas you know you can't reach the sky.
Right.
Working towards the
Bro,
goal.
man, I hear you. You hear me?
I hear you. You hear me? You could hear me?
We can hear you,
We be
We can
GQ.
hear
Go
hearing you.
you.
ahead.
We can
All
hear
right.
you.
If you can hear me and he can't hear me, relate it or text it to him, right? Now,
Mhm.
the metaphor when they
He gonna
use
watch the
to
replay.
for a student, because we always use this to student, the sky is a limit, right? Now, is a metaphor. You and I can't reach the sky. Even say we jump in a plane, we still can't reach the sky. We just pass through the cloud, but we never could touch the sky. But it's a metaphor whereas you set yourself up on a goal where you're striving to get to the top. All right? That's just a metaphor. Now, to the topic, I want a little bit more clarity on what's going on because I just come in and, hearing they talking about woman and man and who in and who in taking and all these things. So, shine bright and lion, fire, clear this up for me quick.
Go ahead, Sean.
Well,
That
the topic for tonight is men. Do you guys feel vulnerable? Do
we
you feel
we
being vulnerable makes you weak? Right.
Okay. And
So
that's
yes. So because we know a lot of times when men feel like they're vulnerable and we hear them say it makes them feel like, that's not a man thing. I'm a weak, or Keisha said earlier, a simp, right? Or whatever the situation is. But at the same time, now we have younger ones. You remember growing up, different times, different things. So we want men to share, right? Feel like you don't have, it don't make you less than for you to be your true self, or even to cry, or even into us, you know what I mean, so that we can know that, okay, he understand, he cares, he shows some kind of emotion.
yes. Cause nobody, whether male or female,
Well,
born without emotion. GQ.
well, with that, you know, man, it's a sticky situation
Fire,
because
that's your friend.
sticky situation because no, if a man feel a certain way and he feel emotional attack, right? You always feel that you get one over you and you still do what you want to do because guess what? He's a weak man because he cry.
No,
No.
no, that's not true. That's not true.
Is that too?
No, go ahead. Say what you say.
Wait. I listen. Wait, listen. Before I come on, I listen to you talking all the time. So now, let me talk. Me giving me opinion,
Okay,
right?
we listening.
We
What the
We
listening. We
gonna let you
listening.
be
We listening.
vulnerable.
We
wait,
Go
gonna
ahead.
let
wait,
you
wait,
listen.
wait, let
Listen,
me
but
sit up. Let me sit up, man.
oh, you gotta
Listen.
sit up.
I want to say something. I want
Yes,
to brag
Oh,
for men.
Skady boss lady daddy.
boss. Like, yep, yep.
Go ahead,
Talk.
Miss
bro,
Crystal. Go ahead, Miss
Good night.
I
Crystal.
bro,
Hello.
stand
Yeah.
for the men.
Uh,
In well, we're gonna speak on the background of the West Indian.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the men were taught and brought up not to be vulnerable, not to show
yeah.
no emotion. The tough
Hmm.
person, be the head of the household, to stand on your own 2 feet and not be vulnerable and show that side of them. However, everybody has their weakness. Everybody has their dull days. So we have to show one another that what we are made of, we are not rock. We're not made of stone.
Correct.
The same feelings that a woman feels, a man feels it the same way too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
bro,
their society is going to treat them as they're
bro,
weak.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
Tycho,
right.
hold
And I'm
on.
so glad you said that you're going to speak on a perspective of a West Indian man. So with me being an American born woman, lived in the Caribbean, that's the truth, right? But you want to come, who that
What?
chap? Fire,
What?
who that?
Well, on the tycoon.
He can't hear you. He can't hear you. He can't hear you.
Hold on. You, you hear me, tycoon?
Mm, no, he can't hear you.
Why am kidding you?
and my relationship. Tell me if that makes any sense. You see me I say? Most of the man them need to forward and just be a man and come out of them ego. You can't be an egotistic individual where you know say it's all about you, and only you. And that's why there is so many problems in a relationship. You see me say? 90% of the time, my man them my problem. The man they want to go wild, they want to have their own way like a Burger King. And if you're a married man or you're in a relationship where you know say you have kids, bro, you have to put the kids them first. It's no longer about you. You see me I say? You have to think
Tycoon, you
about
hear?
the kids
Ty,
them and the kids them future. And if
tycoon.
we're wrong, tell me some wrong.
Can't hear me.
He can't hear you. You
Why?
gotta
Why?
drop it. You gotta take him out the live.
All right, wait.
You
I'm
gotta delete. Yeah.
all right, don't say 40. I got add him back in. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Those.
like I was saying, it's a sticky situation, right? Because everybody have feelings, right? Everybody go through things. You understand? Some people don't like to speak up on it because depends on the kind of relationship they're in,
Not only
right?
that, we
But
don't.
that's the purpose of the topic, right? Because
Yeah,
that's
but
where
you gotta look
we
at
need
this.
you guys to get to a
You
place.
gotta look. You gotta look at this now, right? Now
Mm,
you may have. Let me say, for example, you have a man, right? You want him to talk certain things. Now he's a breadwinner, right? Now, let me say he loses his job. He wouldn't know to come to TV lose his job because you're that kind of woman that because he don't have it, you will go there and tell your girlfriends. It's a topic, it turn a topic. So you gotta look at things on that perspective too now. If you guys have a relationship that is like here, where you guys know to communicate and whatever you talk in the bedroom, when it pertaining to your home, it stays there, then it's good. But then if you're gonna be like, oh, you're less of a man because you don't have a job, you can't take care of me, or whatever, going to find a next man. A next
that
man
sound
will
like
find
you. That
a
sound like a side chick. We're not talking about side chicks on this live tonight. We
it's
we
not about
talking
sex.
about
No, it's not
yeah,
sex.
because
It's
yes
if
it
we're
is.
like
If you
honest,
can't. if you can't open up to me as your woman and you land next to me and you lose your job and I can't rock with you, it's something wrong with the woman that you pick, babes. You gotta make sure that we are on the same page as far as being able to communicate the same way. So we're talking about in being in a real relationship where we as women want you guys to give us the space to be your safe space, because these people are going out here snapping, they're going out here going into hotels and killing themselves because they didn't have anybody that they could lean on. So we're talking about it from a mental health perspective. So we want to know as women, how do we get y'all to get that out your head, that if you lost your job, that I'm not your ride or die, that you can come and say, yo, I lost my job, how we gonna work this
Right.
out?
Well, I feel like this, right? Because Sean and me had this problem too. And I was telling her, I don't know if it's because of my childhood days.
Oh, bring it.
Because I get some licks in my ass. See, I tell
But
you
that's
from me,
what I'm
mother,
talking about, being
I
vulnerable.
get some licks in my ass. I tell you, and all of that made I feel I told her like I feel like all of that was up, and I spoke to my mom, which in I spoke to my mom. She told me why the reason why she used to beat me. They had a two part. You
No,
understand?
you should bust ass.
That days what just know say she was a tear my ass. You wanna tell you? Licks non-stop. Because why I always doing some instruments and then my father put me one side stressing shout. So she used to take out the little anger for me. As I get bigger at me, she said, I'm gonna say, Mommy, why you used to beat me so much? And then she tell me, then I get knowledge. But what trying to say that I feel like that, and I don't not like feel is what make me
Who you
hold
are.
certain things to myself. like
Mm,
like I say, it's now I find a woman. Now I get the partner that I could open to, because still
mm.
I used to I no nobody can
I, I
I
think it's the one. Repeat the word you just used just now. No, you what?
get the right partner that I could express
No problem,
myself.
but I'm still
You
drinking.
understand? I could
Yeah,
talk
man.
to I tell Sean anything, so till sometime when I talk to Shay say no something, I can stop telling you anything. I guess why. Sometimes boom, you look at her, she say, yeah, like I just now was telling you, I said, don't, she's a woman that is keep it neutral. If you're wrong, you're wrong. She
Yep.
don't sugarcoat no, not because she's me wife or I she husband. She can say, man, okay, they shouldn't do you though. She said, what make that happen? And if I tell she can say, well, all right, you don't feel like it's your fault, make though, because you should have moved
Right.
like that. So I can say, oh, scrap by. But then for realize that sometimes we just have to listen to we woman sometime. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We gotta listen to them sometime and we gotta express ourselves for here what's going on. But sometimes as man, we just feel like
And
you stunt.
also, the woman need to
Sorry, but
listen
like
to us sometimes.
eh?
Also, the
we
woman
li-
need to listen to us too sometimes.
we listen to you guys. We listen to you guys more than you
Hold on,
think.
Tycoon.
We listen to you more than you think, because you think that just because you're not getting a reaction out of me that I don't hear you. I'm gonna hear you clear. I
Hmm.
just choose not to react and I store it. The problem is you think we chat too much. So we were saying before you came on the live, if we have one blow up, you're not gonna chat to
Hold
me. You're
on,
gonna say,
Tycoon.
no, boy, I'm not gonna chat to her again because you chat too much. So you're not gonna say nothing. You're not gonna bring the topic up again at all. So that's the problem. Then you feel like you gotta go to your boy them or you gotta go hold it inside. Because most times you don't even go to your boys and tell them nothing. You just
No.
hold it inside.
Mm-hmm.
You hold it inside, and then when you explode, then what? And I get what your wife is saying about the Caribbean life. Well,
Eerie.
we're in America now. So when you're in America and you're dealing with some of us, what you call me, Shawndel? What you call me? What name you give me? Because Caribbean, whatever you give me, the crossover. When you're in Rome, you do as Romans, right?
Well, it
Yes.
doesn't have.
However,
Go ahead.
as I'm gonna go stop back on the West Indian background, we
I
were
know.
taught
I know.
way
Right.
not to speak back, or we weren't taught different like
Robert,
adult
no, no,
language.
no.
We
Right.
as a young, I am Guyanese. However, I have American children. I have taught them that from a young age the wrong and right of doing things, and being outgoing and outspoken and speak your mind. via you're wrong or right, and I will correct you in different aspects.
Right.
However, we weren't taught that way. If we
Yeah.
go and ask our parents a question, we got a licking, or we sent to our room, or outside to play, or
Correct.
something. Adult is
Well,
around,
sometimes I think what
not
you saying
involved.
that I think that sometimes that it depends on the American household that you grew up in,
Yeah.
because a lot of people think I grew up in the Caribbean because we couldn't do that either. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it I don't think it's a culture or a background thing. I just think it's a man thing. So that was the purpose of this topic, so that we as women could hear from our men to understand what is it about communicating with us that they don't want to show their vulnerable side when we know that they need that safe place just like we do.
Yes.
Well, the
Straight.
reason for, like I was saying earlier, the reason for that, like I was saying earlier, some of the men feel that some of the women have chat too much.
I was just gonna say that. I was
I'm
just gonna say
It,
that,
it,
right.
but it's the truth.
it
Yeah,
comes down to the thank you,
look,
thank you, thank you.
right. A man gonna show his vulnerable side, yes, right. Now,
Mm.
sit down there, like you said, you guys will sit down and you will listen, but you wouldn't say nothing. Sometimes we want to hear that reaction to know what's to go forward. What can we do to make things better or what's not? But if you're gonna sit down there not saying nothing, but when I leave and gone outside with my friends, Chandel, you know this asshole come in here and he come in and tell you this.
Right, but
You
guess what?
supposed
If
to
I
tell
if
me
I
that
responded
sometimes
to you in that moment
How
though,
does
but
it
Keisha,
check
know that
it.
wait.
we
Keisha,
care
wait.
Huh?
Keisha, let him
or
say
they're
what
just
he
venting?
saying.
No, no, huh? Go
Let
you
him
ahead. What?
understand,
say.
Go
GQ, say
ahead.
what you say.
Finish,
right?
finish.
So
Go
now,
ahead.
No,
So
I,
this,
I wanna answer GQ.
no,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Finish.
right? So now, if we're gonna come and pour out our heart to you guys, show you guys our vulnerable side or what's not, then when we walk out the door, you call up your girlfriend. Oh, he come in with some crocodile tears on his face, like if something really bad. I know to myself something really bad in your ass. You probably want to get between my crotch or something. Just come and put her. You understand me? Fire.
But wait,
Fire
wait,
is gonna
wait,
play
wait.
that
If
No,
we
game.
have,
wait.
let me. Can I ask you
No,
a
no,
question? Can I
Fire.
ask you a question? Can I ask you a question with that win? Can I ask you a question? If I knew that when I responded to you, I was gonna respond in a way that would shut you down and not want to come back to me, so I kept it quiet. And then I cussed with my girlfriends just to come back and talk to you about it so you can receive it. Because I did hear you and I wanted you to be able to give me that, right? But I also
Right,
knew that. Hmm,
right there. Right? Here we just say, you're gonna
what I
go to your
say?
girlfriend. Oh, you're right. You say you're gonna go to your girlfriend and you're gonna curse to your girlfriend about it.
No,
But guess
I'm
what?
just going by your story,
Look
though.
at
I'm
this.
just going with your
Look at
story.
mine.
I'm,
Look at mine, right? You went and talk to your girlfriend about your man. Now your girlfriend see your man on the street and she throwing hints. Wait. She throwing hints on your man. Oh, you're no good because you going on my crying like, oh, these things happen for truth. Real
I
True.
talk.
know, but I'm just going by your
No,
story. I'm not
no,
saying
I'm
that
gonna,
that's what we would
let
naturally
me,
do, but I'm just
no.
asking you in that situation because I know my head hot. My head hot. So, all right, will you come and say certain stuff to me? I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to let you pour it out. But if I don't want you to back away and not ever come back to me, I'm not going to respond to you at that moment. So I don't necessarily go to my girlfriends. I just use that to follow you. But I'm saying to you, when you said that, you made a very valid point. When you said you come and you pour out your heart and we give you we what I call it, the resting bitch face, right? That's what we give you, right? So we giving you nothing at all, and so you don't feel like you could come back. But if I'm doing that because I don't want to run you away, what's the happy medium?
Here's my, okay, to answer GQ, right?
GQ or one tonight.
Because I can say that with age that I'm mindful of who I do talk to
Yes.
because of how they might view men.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know that the person that I'm gonna lash out to that is not gonna give me constructive criticism or tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong, or if it's not even, because we know there are women who just will bash men, period, and we know that the disrespect do come, especially in a Caribbean community. I know it. My phone don't really ring too much. I don't really talk to a lot of people, and I learned that a long time ago, especially in marriage, to keep
Keep your
certain
distance.
people out of your business. And the
I remember,
reason why I do that,
I remember
because
business.
tomorrow, me and my man go back together and we
Yep. And
happy.
they're looking at him stupid.
Yeah, the
They're
the
looking
friend,
at him stupid.
the mother-in-law, the mother is just like
Everybody.
fire mother. I said I don't want to call you when me and him fighting. I want to have a normal relationship with you. So that way, if on side of that, it shouldn't be that, right? So it shouldn't be the same way. Why the only reason why I call my girlfriend is because
Mm.
Fire done did something. You know what I mean?
But
I need to call and when Fire do something great to be able to share that too. But I get it when we're mad sometimes, and we do that, but it's not like we don't love you guys, love you any less or anything like that, or we feel that. But again, sometimes certain things that happen with relationship triggers from another relationship, and it might be something that stem off of a past that even we still struggle with. And that's just
mhm.
me, and I always say that I'm mindful that I don't stem certain things from past, because you might meet that person that's crying them crocodile tears, and the lying ras, but you still trying to believe them, right? And then here he come, and he could be honestly crying because
Try
he
the
love
tears.
you,
Yep.
and then you
You
say,
don't believe it?
right, it's a hard thing. So it is hard for a man to be vulnerable, but it's also hard for a woman to be vulnerable too. So it goes on both sides, because we've all went through things in life. As we grow, period, we're gonna go through that. It's like, well, you got to really know the person you with, to where you can say,
Correct.
all right, she might
Correct.
not mean it that way. Even I know she mad or whatever, but at the same time, you sort of feel like you still can, even if she gonna get mad, tell her. Cause I do the same.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
Yes.
you
So
That's
the
the
still gotta
piece.
tell her.
Even if she's gonna get mad,
There's
tell
something I
her.
can't get over. Like I
Yeah.
just can't get over them. 'Cause I look. I was with before I leave Guyana. Big man like me. My mom just bought this glass table, cause
mm,
she went we buy the chair set thing, nice glass table. Boom, I go and I knock the table down, broke the table, piece of the table off where she gone to work. So she coming home like in the next 2 days. I know me, mommy talking on the phone, me tell mommy I broke your table.
oh, she knows
And I
now.
only know, mommy come home now, I there in front, guys, go up on the ends now, and I is chill. With me brethren,
Mhm.
them man's me all the board and things. So mommy coming in down with me, she reasoning as we walk. And I say, mommy, I got something to tell you. I said, wapping, I should wapping, mom, to you, why you there so wapping? I say, break the table. I said,
Mhm.
this what you do, and this what you got a big man like me, like I speeding for tell mommy, yo, I broke.
Because
I break. I
The
because
said,
way the way
sometimes
we was
there's
brought up.
And that is what I
yo, it
yeah,
was
yeah,
crazy.
the way we were brought up is not like we could express ourselves.
self.
So as
Yeah,
an adult, it's shameful to express ourselves to our significant
Yes.
others also.
it's
It's not
crazy.
It's
It's,
true,
it's
because
shameful.
I
yeah.
said the
It's
same
just
thing.
a
It's
repercussion. It's
afraid.
just
It's
Yeah,
afraid
it's
to
it's
just that
afraid
say it.
because I said the same. I allow Lexi to have her voice, and sometimes because there's certain things, I don't let my mom even fire, her dad, my friends. There's certain things, cause they be like, bust your ass, bust your ass, bust your ass.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
no, I'm
No.
not gonna bust her ass for
Exactly.
everything, you know. So I don't. She gotta have her voice because I don't ever want her to
Sorry.
be afraid to come and tell me
That's Shawndel for
anything.
truth. That's
Yeah.
Shawndel. Yeah, man. Real talk. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah, you giving her that safe
Caribbean,
space.
yeah, Caribbean settings, the
Exactly.
Caribbean side of
That's what I
settings
does too.
totally
I give my
different.
kids a safe space
Yes.
Because
to
it
speak
really,
their
even
mind
with
and to
y'all
voice
Caribbean women,
their
it's the same way, right? Because even
yeah.
with y'all Caribbean women, y'all have a connection as Caribbean women, and y'all more likely to befriend other Caribbean women, right? So when with me,
Well, I'm
most
very
of
diverse. I don't always. I don't. All my friends are not only Caribbean.
Right, I know, but I'm just saying it's easier because you guys have that relatability, right? And
Mhm.
you feel like just because and you're right in your feelings, and I'm saying that from a perspective of, my family would used to always say, why you always just deal with those people, why you always just over there, why you doing this or that. So it's easier for me, even as an American woman. I relate more to Caribbean people than I do American people.
Mhm.
If you look at my friends, the majority of my friends are Caribbean. So I get it, but I think that for me, what's amazing is that when me and Shawndell been friends for over 20 years, and a lot of times when we talk about how we was raised and family, it's so similar and it's so different at the same time. So that's the beauty, in this whole thing when we're talking about different topics, and I like to be a part of it and bring my American side in it when I gave Shawndell the simp, and then hear you guys' side of it from the Caribbean because we're all a human race,
Exactly.
and we it's all the same and we go through the same struggles, just a different way, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Straight up.
But
Yeah.
Straight up.
definitely we want to say, the vulnerability we understand from being raised
Everybody.
a certain way at that time. And but this what we want men, especially now, to know it's a different time
Open.
and that you guys can be open, but at the same time, we don't want to take that being vulnerable or a sign of weakness into the kids. So
Mhm.
because one of the things that I've always said, even for me, is like I don't ever want because I knew I was afraid growing up to talking to my mom the same way. And it wasn't that, it's like, a child should be seen and not heard, that
Yes.
type of situation. And we want to give, or boys, you're a boy, you tough, you're not
Won't
supposed to
cry.
cry,
Mm.
right? So the same time is we want them to grow rough and tough, yes, but we want them to be able to have their voice and share, because when children, things happen to children, they don't want to share because now they feel afraid. So it goes
Right,
back
right.
into relationship, and as you begin to grow, as you get older, now it goes into your marriage, right? So it's like it's still like that thing that, like Fire said, even though he was a grown man, he was still afraid to tell his mom that he broke the table because
Yeah.
of,
Right.
Crazy. Oh, that's
because of
crazy.
how they were taught, you
Mhm.
know so how do we change that to where we don't keep repeating the same thing, even though some of it is good, because some of the fear make you didn't get into a lot of the trouble that you
Right.
might have got into,
Also.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
some
yeah.
of it is
That's a fact.
good, because I know if my mom, when the first time I came, some boy called her to my him on a date. She said, "Blasted bite, don't call it, no me child on that." This was like 16, so I ain't never bring nobody else. Don't
That's
even
what
call,
If
right?
I
that's why we have to keep that line of open communication. Yeah, with your spouse, with your children, with even your grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
fire and fire make a flame, a bigger flame.
Chica's trouble.
But yeah, so it's definitely.
Yeah, man.
I think that now there's so much more things um available for men to do, not feel like you
Hmm.
can't be vulnerable. And women, I will say women, we do have to be mindful of who we're sharing certain things with,
Mhm.
because that's something I don't share certain things, even certain things with my parents. I don't share in within my marriage. I
Mhm.
don't, you
You
know.
know,
Because I
you know
say when
another
they
thing that
when it's
um,
sweet, you don't when it's sweet, you don't tell them. When it's sour, you want to tell them, right? And then when you go back sweet, they still on the
Yeah.
sour. So then
Mhm.
what?
Exactly.
you know what's something that just came to my mind, and this could play a big part in it, right? Now, back in the Caribbean, when you meet a young lady, you have the opportunity to court,
Court
right? You court, whatever you want to call it, right? You get to know that individual, right?
on a friendship
Now,
level.
today. You don't even get that, right?
Yeah.
So now you can't be that vulnerable with that individual. No, the person that you get to court and get to know, guys get to talk certain things. That is the person that you will open up to the
You get to
most.
know one another. You build a
Mm.
friend said
You
before a
build a
relationship.
friendship before a relationship. So now you will feel more free now to say, well, you know what, this is what bothering me, because you already know what this person gonna come to you with. But if it's somebody that
Mm-hmm.
you just meet and hey,
Hmm.
I
You
meet
just
this girl
start
in the
dating.
party and you ask her a date, and next thing you ask her to live home. There's no courtship right there,
Correct.
and you feel that good to open up to the individual.
Straight.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that play a big part in it too. So what we gotta advise the women them now, y'all
Excuse
gotta
me.
start quoting,
What
you
about
know
men?
me, quoting, building
Boy, yeah,
relation, because you need a
man.
foundation.
No, wait, but it's
You
true.
wait, let me
Wait.
finish.
If
Wait,
we need a foundation, who has to
can
build
I, no,
it?
no, can I finish?
Listen,
Can I
go
finish
ahead.
what I'm? No, you need a foundation. You can't build a house on air. You got to get a foundation, a solid foundation. So when you put on the house, you know it's firm,
So who
right,
has to
Why you
build
Fire?
the
want to be a man on one part and not a
who has
man on the
to build
next
the
part?
foundation?
Why you
That's
want
what
to
we
be
got
a
to
man
start
on one part and
putting.
not on the next part? Help me understand
But
that.
listen, this
Yo.
is why when you're dating, right? This when you're dating, right? Today's society, now back in the day, everybody hold out, right? And there's I say this, right? You have one guy you talking to that you like, and you gonna talk to him for hours, and you gonna hold out with him. But you know we got feelings, so you gonna have that one cut, buddy. Nobody ain't gonna know about.
Nobody not gonna know. Where's my
Back you home,
cranium song?
back you
Nobody.
back home, and back you back home, and then you back you back home.
Because you want to hold out for that one that you like. So but it is hard, right? But it is individual thing. It is how you was raised. Is a lot into it.
It's
You know what I
workable.
mean?
It's
Yeah,
workable.
it's a lot into it. But at
That's
the
why
end of
the 21st, 22nd, 23rd century now, we have to be an advocate for the young people that's growing up, and even for our spouse, not even for the young people. Because some of these people, I can't even say only the Caribbean, they are stuck in their old ways and
ways,
their past into their present. And
correct,
you can't do that. You have to grow and leap and move on and experience new things and new
Real.
ways, tactic of getting your point across.
Oh, we
correct,
expect the new things tonight.
You learn
correct.
new thing tonight.
I definitely think so because that's why I said certain women, like I hear women say it all the time, like you can't have a normal conversation with them without them bashing men, and all men is this or all men is that. Nah, let one thing happen in your relationship, and I said that I don't find anyone lately that I can really talk to that if I was having an issue with my relationship that I can go and they will give me, like that movie where they will tell you stay but pray, the prayer
Yes.
room.
You
What
ain't
is
gonna
it
find
called?
that. I know what you're talking about, but you're not gonna find that
To
today.
where
Oh,
you're
that's
fine.
fine because I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Marriage is for better and for worse.
Hmm.
You're going to have your bad days, but you have to listen. You have to outweigh the bad and the good. Now you're gonna go and find yourself. Oh, I am fighting with my husband. I'm about to leave him. It's the same tactic you're gonna experience in another relationship.
Correct.
So
And
we
the
might need to bring this as another topic too.
But I already told Fi,
cycle
there ain't no
all
going.
the
This
time.
it for
And
me.
where are you gonna? It's better you stay with what you have and work it out.
Correct. Correct. But you see, you had to learn that, and it's so funny that you said that, Felicia, because I had that conversation with my mom. There's
Hmm.
no one can call me right now, being the person that I am, and knowing relationships and being in relationship and being in past. There was one I said, if there was someone that could have tell me fight, I would have fight. But for this one, and I had a guy friend, and he passed, and he said, Shawnee, you don't ever fight. But he said, when
Mm.
you find the right one, you'll fight
Fight.
for it.
Yes.
You
So fight,
understand?
fight, yo,
Huh?
you fight for fire.
All day
Yes, all
long.
day, every day. She definitely will fight for fire.
Fire is just waiting for his name to be called.
Well, see, he made me fight for him. See, there's a
Yes,
difference.
I don't know you
He
guys
didn't make you.
at
He didn't
first,
make you. You
but
wanted to. Whatever he
No,
did.
see,
what I
Yeah.
mean that he made me fight where I could have walked away, but there was certain things that that there's a
But that's
difference
not a make because
with holding.
you still had your whole mind. It was just something like he was talking about that he trusting you to relate to you. It was something in him that made you want to. He didn't do it. It's
exactly
something
that.
that he showed up and
Yes.
showed out because I
Some
know you. So he ain't do
yes.
nothing. If
But
you didn't want to, you wouldn't be sitting right
so
there.
But that's what I'm saying because that's why you said I trusted him that made me want to
Right.
fight. But he assured me there were
All right.
certain things that men need to still do to assure women to make them feel safe
Right.
too. You
Right.
exactly.
understand?
Right.
Because
And
we go through
people will tell you whatever they want to say, but you're the one that is with that
correct.
individual, and you're the one that's talking and listening, and the action is louder than words,
Go
and you're
ahead,
seeing
GQ. GQ
firsthand
got your
what
finger
he's
up.
doing and what he's not doing to make it work. Look at him, look at him being a big teddy bear.
Yeah,
Yo,
he trying to
my
make you
question,
hush, Felicia.
yo, fire,
Go
shine
on, my
bright.
brother.
I don't see me so often when I come on. I got to be on the show, right?
Mhm.
I've been busy. I understand work and what's not. But what's the name of this show? The talk show.
No, but
Tune
this is just Shawndel&Leon. This is our new YouTube
Vulnerability.
family,
Podcast.
All right.
Men being
So,
vulnerable.
love, and life.
Sean
So
and
on Thursday night, we do a live where we'll have different topics. So
Yeah,
every Thursday, we're
all
gonna
right.
do a show where it's pertaining to a life,
You forget one,
something that we can impact the people and change the lives of people. So
all right. You forget
basically,
one thing at the end of the Shondell and Leon show. Come, you have to get a drink.
That's it.
Understand? You can't have the show without a drink.
uh,
Mm.
without a drink,
he's drinking his
Mm-hmm.
water.
oh,
We drink. We was
That's
drinking
Yeah,
already.
and
his
yeah,
look,
water.
We
we
don't
got
leave a
it.
glass that's red because we can't see what's in the red glass. The big glass you can see it, right?
well, Wednesdays we used to do the sip and chat. It's
Oh,
just my schedule kind of changed a lot, so it's kind of hard for us. So that's why even we move it to 11 o'clock. And we know it's kind of late for everybody, but at this time of night, the kids are asleep too, so we can have some real
Exactly.
conversation, and a real adult conversation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you said it right. What's her name? Mary J. Blige has the wind down. They had hot topic. Now you have adult conversation.
Yes, adult
Ah,
conversation.
adult
rated
conversation.
RPG 13.
Bold.
Well,
Rated
Hey, look.
R. You know
Hey,
that
look,
shit.
look,
depend on the
look,
night.
Rated
look,
R.
It depend on
look.
the night. It
No,
Just
depend
no,
on
put
the
it out.
not
night.
Just
always
joking.
rated. Look. Tonight was not rated R. Tonight was PG because we did it under Karen Touch. So we gotta make
I'm
sure we
just
put that
kidding.
disclaimer at the beginning. So tonight's
I'm
not
just
rated
kidding.
R, but we do rated R. But tonight is PG, right, Fire?
Yeah,
Rated
man. Yeah, man.
RPG 13.
You get the whole twin one. Right?
But
Well,
we definitely want to thank everybody for tuning
More
in.
often,
You
and
know,
for the people that
but yeah, we
Go ahead.
definitely, and even if you guys have topics or definitely
Yeah, share
ideas
with
and
us,
things
man.
like that you guys want to hear, we're
Definitely.
definitely gonna pull some
pose.
polls
Mm-hmm.
on. You guys will see some things on our Facebook popping up. Where you guys can drop the topic ideas on the days that we share them and stuff
Talk
like that,
about
so that we want to heal, and that's it. We want people to find purpose. You know what I mean? And like we said, we went through enough to where even him, he can honestly say he never used to be that vulnerable, but he found the right person. But also, you can be with the person that you are now, and you guys, we got to have real conversation. And I think that's where we need to go back to, is having real conversation. Even if we might be upset or it might hurt, we need to hear it, because that's the only thing that's going to make us better. You
And,
know?
and
Okay, you
remember,
talk
if you are
about
listening to this live and you are in mental distress or mental crisis, the link to the mental health hotline will be, the phone number to the mental health crisis line will be in the links on the page, right, Shawndel?
Yes, I'll go
Yep.
In
back
the description.
tomorrow and
Yep.
that
Put
definitely.
the
tonight.
yes.
Tonight about men being vulnerable. We have vulnerable teenagers who would
Mhm.
not speak out. So I think that's a good topic to talk about next.
You hearing us? Oh, hold on, my friend. Hold on the tycoon. Hold on the tycoon. Start over now. All right, good.
Yeah, that's the most of the times when I see persons are really going through some stuff are probably vulnerable because of the background or the circle they mean in the car. Listen, me as a G growing up, you see, a whole heap of people say the world works. Who not tell me say man I live for see 25, who not tell me say yo man I this or man I that. But me just use that as a motivation to try to prove them wrong. So it really keep me going as a G. But then everybody I go stay like a me and turn all the darkness into light and know say yo yeah you chad on and you push forward. You see me? So we can inspire a lot of individuals out there with some kind words, some inspiration. See me, cause bro, no matter what, you know, I always tell this, yo, I believe in you. You see me, I say, cause I even
Mm-hmm.
last night, me I talk to my cousin, see me, and she say, yo, she go through some stuff. And I tell her, say, yo, look, cause I have your back and I believe in you. You know, have to meds people because at the end of the day, the end game of greatness. You see me, I say, a greatness we set out for. Once Jah rise you up in the morning, I will give him thanks and give him the glory. You know, say we are push towards greatness. You see what I say? So
Yeah, man.
all of the youths them out there will need some inspiration. They can just check in on they can just lock in on they can know say, oh yeah. And I have some people over here, so some level-headed individuals who know say, oh yeah, want to see the youths them do the right thing. I want to turn to crime and violence. I want to dash on the life. I want to live a good life. In other words, me that say the sweet life as Zach and Cody. You see me? Because we want to see all of the youths them a live out them dream. We're born with the dream and I love to see every single one of we I live the dream. My dream of see me and the team I live the dream. And that means that my
Big up
motto, that
yourself.
my
Yeah,
is what I
man.
say? So that's
Yeah,
why
man.
all of my bro them from another mother rate me because I always I inspire them and I tell them say you know do it right, you do the right and go and do the good because you know see you and when you put out forward back round, you know. You see me? Most people don't necessarily understand what goes around comes around, but now break it down for them. You see, and the kindness what you put out in the world always have a way of finding itself back to you. Is what I say? So that's the meaning of what goes around comes around. And where you sow, you reap.
Definitely. Definitely what you saw. I believe in that. I know um I reap a lot of benefits from my mom because she saw a lot of good seeds. So definitely a lot of blessings did come into us from her. And that's something that I do. So that passed on to me that I'm always mindful. And even though sometimes people might take or feel like they're taking your kindness for weakness, it doesn't affect me. It just jeopardizes you. So we do have to be mindful in that way in where what we're doing. So it's just like I always say, your work, your friends, your family. Fire thought I was gonna be somebody different once we start living together. You know what I mean? And once we got married, and he'll see me, I can come home and I'll sit on the couch and I'm quiet. Nothing wrong,
But
but that's just
listen,
me. I'll hold my corner. You know what I mean? It'll only be a few things that he will see me get dark, and that's he and Lexi and Kingston if they ain't clean up or the kids. But it is not like what on the most every day today. I'm the same way. At work, I'm the same way. You know what I mean? And that's the key is being consistent and always being mindful. You never know a smile might change a person's day. But also
exactly,
just being nasty
exactly.
might change a person's day because you don't know what they're dealing with and you might say the wrong thing and then next thing you know they don't hold just shoot up the whole place,
Right.
Yeah.
but it wasn't necessarily
Exactly.
for you, but they was already in a bad place. Now you could
And
have
you
changed it by saying hi
But
or good morning, but you take off
but
on them
all
and
right,
it just escalated.
all right. You see, you make a valiant point. 'Cause listen, all right. Me is a youth and me is an individual like this. Sometimes you don't necessarily know what a person is actually going through, but sometimes I feel like a kind words. Cause me is a G like this. Me a security work me do, and most of the time I interact with people. And whenever I interact with people, we will like, man, Imiji, big up yourself, bless up yourself, and watch yourself out the road. Make sure you take care of your six and your three out the road, meaning say your life was then, in other words. You see what I say? And them simple little gesture there. You see, sometimes people have half day as they see you. It's like them entire outlook on the day change because some little kind words, some inspirational words. Because I say, yo, I try to be that person who know say, yo, yeah, people can look up to.
Yeah.
And
Hold
then,
on, because I was gonna say I hope you's not like that security when we name Vibe Cartel's son go to get some food and you run
no,
him out.
no, no, honestly, that was a no, me totally different still. My personality and my character are actually different. You see me now?
But
Me,
no,
me
it's,
I
just
listen.
it's not like
no, you
that.
see,
And
them
you're
security guards, you see,
your
really and truly, them have issues. Me not cut them a G. But that's
no,
a system real quick. Them security guards, them definitely have issues with vibes cartel. Normally, a man at this a man in a Jamaica, a man tell pussy will go suck out your mama and that's it. But when a man a go tell a man about him father, you know, say, yo, pick the sense out of the nonsense. Him personally have a vendetta and him personally have beef with cartel.
you bring my next drink, please.
We can hear you for your next drink.
Yes, I got a drink. I got the
Thank
drink.
you. Thank you. What you sipping on over there?
Huh?
Shonda,
But
what
What
you
you
sipping on?
sipping on?
they bring the next drink, man. I tell you, we
He
drinking
asked
tonight.
for the
Uh,
next drink. He asked for his next drink,
now,
Shonda.
And that's a go on
turn
for what a go on,
my
bro G.
turn to my G, right?
Shonda,
Trust
I
me,
gotta.
right? Now, I've been in the security field for over 12 years, right? I'm now winning off of that, right? I'm a people's
Oh wow,
person.
two security on there use
No,
like
no, no.
Vibes
I'm
Cartel.
half and
Soon
half now.
okay.
I'm on my way out. I put it in my resignation. 12 years is enough, right? But me as a people's person, right? Wherever I go, and you see this face, I hear this voice, you have to smile or laugh, right?
Exactly. I saw me stay, bro. I
All
saw
right.
me stay, bro.
I was working under somebody that was working under me that didn't know that he was working under me, right? But because I'm a people's person, he couldn't have taken that. That was eating him alive. And he was creating problem for me. So before he create problem for me, I solved the problem. Then is when he get to realize that he thought I was working under him, but I was working on top of him. You understand me? So you got to know to deal with certain people. Not everybody like what we may do because trust me, being a security guard is not easy. And the things that we got to do to maintain a serious face and make our day good, a lot of people don't know. They be saying, "Oh, security guard is a security guard." Well, trust me, there are times I have to fight.
Bro.
You
Bro,
understand me?
may I say a thing to you, see, bro. Sometimes, all right, you see, some people as security guards, you see, them wire themselves into the system, then become a robot. You see, me remember one night me I work at the lobby. I was working at Grand Bayou Hotel and me I work at the lobby. Me I work. You have two lobbies over there. You have the luxury lobby and you have the grand lobby. You have the grand side where you know it's the family side. You have the luxury side, like the more wealthier people fall over that side. And there was two set of Guyanese girls. One had six and one had five, but that two is separate set, you know. And was there me I start out some people. So same time them forward at the lobby and they wanted one of them look out jitney, the golf cart them, we call him jitney. If you go over the snack bar, you see me I say, so then come on, they say good night and I say good night. Oh my see you guys. It's like the whole time they don't want to leave, they don't even want to go over with them. Cause it's like they must say you can't break character. I'm they start laugh and the girl they start laughing. They must say you getting nervous. I say no man. And that's because over here someone got problem please because they don't really want to talk to you. And you know they must say we are fraternize or we are look or we are this and we are that.
Cause
Yeah.
y'all do. Cause
Yes,
y'all
they say
be
Yes,
yo.
doing that.
And
true.
No,
That's
the
a
manager come to the you
no, 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 no,
yes,
no. Mm-mm.
yes, that's a
bro,
true,
bro,
Shonda. Yes.
bro.
That's
I
that
Which
met tell you say the
Jamaican.
you say,
manager
Don't
man?
let
forward the
no
day, no bro.
foreign.
All when the
Don't let
manager
no
forward
foreign go to
the girl
Jamaica.
them still no want left, you know,
No,
bro.
no,
Don't
that's
Because
let
the
no
they,
girl them
foreign
That is
girl
captivated
go
by
no,
my
to
no,
personality, you know.
Jamaica.
right?
no,
They get
I
it
use
snatched.
station and
they
station.
snatch
Um,
really fast,
no,
Chandel,
no, no,
real
no.
fast.
Which
I use
JQ say?
station
Which
and
JQ say?
inquiry office, right? My metaphor when I go in the morning, Once you come in, you gotta go out. I want you to get out of there fast. I don't want to deal with no fight. And the females will come in. I will say morning, good afternoon, how you doing? Because those are the one that always want to fight. So with me now trying to talk to them nice, let me try to get you out of it. I want to get you out of there fast. And I'm a fraternizing. But some of the people that don't know the work will think that you're fraternizing with these people, but they
Yeah.
don't get
Exactly.
it until when something
Exactly,
happens.
bro. You know what time me did there, bro? Me and that camera woman come there and want hug me up and sit me have to do till all woman have to say if me gay and them sitting there, bro. What you ready for no yeah, man? Me say me got you with some sitting there, bro. Me say woman come there, two, three woman want hug me up too. They like his vibes, they like his energy, they like his swag, and them a say, yo, yeah, this is a real yard and you know for the people. Because me tell you, bro, me have a winning personality, bro. And me can't be a robot. Me can't be like, morning, sir, and this. Me
No, but
can't
you
be
know,
something that I'm not.
but it's so funny because we had that conversation earlier today, and Fi was saying that he's so scared now to even talk to women or even play women accompanied. And even the other day, I went out and I was out and I told him, I said, a man stopped me and he said, sorry to bother you, whatever. And he said, can I pay you a compliment? So he asked because he said, the times have changed to where you can't even pay
Cannot do it.
women a compliment anymore before
No,
they feel like you guys said I'm trying to hit on you or whatever the situation is. But sometimes,
It's
most times
crazy.
this is how men is, they're naturally hunters. So women now
Yeah,
have their guards up, unfortunately.
yeah,
Right.
but check this out, channel. Check this out.
Mm,
And me I'll give you my 2 cents on that.
mm-hmm.
The other day, me bro G a reason see him when we up on a live stream and me and him a reason. And me I tell him say we see a cat in the street and me I tell her say, yo, me see woman, she look good her ear, well done. Cologne a kick like when me I say like a Jet Li or Jackie Chan and she smells sweet and everything. And me see her, me have to say, yo, baby, I'm not telling her you look good, no, me love your hairstyle, you neat and fine and full of shape and curves like a corner. Me have to say, baby, right now you're fine like wine with a little bit of grape. Me have to spit
I
some
gotta
lyrics
give
man him, me have
I
to
gotta
spit
give
some
you
punch
word
man
of
him.
mine.
You see,
But me
Jackie
not,
Chan
look,
a
you
word
bro,
see how
sweet.
he
analyze
went.
me I look
Look,
at you know.
Yo,
look,
Jackie
Bro,
but
Chan
look,
word is
but
sexy.
the way
Every
he said it, the way he said it
No,
alone.
where you call me fire? Where you
Right.
call me
No,
for?
listen, the way
What?
he said it alone, I would be like, well, damn.
I know, right?
me
But
say,
You
what
got the
fire?
curves
Where
like
you
every
call my name
corner.
for
You
fire?
curves them. You got
I
me
curves
gotta
every
say,
give you one
corner.
me
nest
say,
of mine.
No, man.
me say, bro, DJ. Me say, yo,
Yeah.
me have to tell mama, say, mama, you fine like wine with a little bit of grape. Man, me say, all in India, I post that mama see me right past on the bicycle, and mama is like he mind gone, like he must say, yo, that little you with full of punch.
And that's the thing that will make me like, now what the hell he want? Oh,
Exactly.
or
I would be like,
or
boy, bye. You know
or
what I'm saying?
I'm
Because
gonna
it's
give him
what
my
look,
number, right?
and this is the
Because
thing.
no, it depends because it might be a. I'm like, well, damn,
Yeah,
look,
kind of got some
It
women that,
depends on the day. That's the
yeah,
true, and and the way that they
Fire,
do it. Because
fire, I
just
put
like
yeah.
he was talking about
I
him
save
working
in the
at
one
the
in my phone.
oh
I save in the one in my phone. Listen to it.
type
Hurry
two
up and
said
come.
you
I
got
got a new
curves.
word for you from now. From today onward, I got a new word for you. Come quick, come run the corner quick.
and we still live.
Full of curves.
Yeah, we still
Are
live.
we still live?
Bro,
We
Fire,
are
bro,
still
fire.
me have
live.
to
Still
tell that,
Are we
talking.
bro,
still live? It's
bro,
almost 1 o'clock. We still live,
We
fire.
are still
I
live.
Oh
swear.
my
G2,
God. There
G2, you hear
comes
me?
DQ with
What?
the
Fire,
rated
Yeah,
Much,
R.
man.
He going rated R
much
now.
less when we get more guests to this show. I
Me say,
swear.
GQ,
Yeah,
me tell you,
yeah.
say, brother,
So
when
we
me
gonna
tell
say,
mama
hey,
that,
you gotta
brother,
put on
mama have to
tape.
look for me good, brother. Me say,
Yeah.
big woman, mate, mama have to look for me good, and mama have to say, yo, baby, thanks, you're so sweet. You see me? And me can't flip you around, me can't see her, alright, me tell her, say, she fine like wine with a little bit of grape, and me can't tell her, say, yo, baby, not even grape wine, not fine like you. You see me, kind of Jamaica, but I say fine like grape wine, because you know, say, grape build some nice wine.
They get so much curve like that corner.
Oh
Some
well,
Brother, that's
what
what I
were you
say, brother. When
gonna
me
say?
a throw punch,
DQ, you
brother. You see me
crazy?
there road and me a throw punch, brother. Me throw a wicked punch, bro. G. You see me, brother.
And I
When me a throw
yeah,
punch
swear.
there road,
I
me throw
put
I
some
one on the
wicked punch
corner
there
swear.
around
We
the
road,
have
G.
a chat every
corner.
Thursday, man. You think it's sweet.
But, um,
Oh wow.
but definitely no. Again. Thanks. You see, okay, now you see how we having a conversation here, and now y'all reasoning, and I'm laughing, and it's the same way. And I think sometimes, so let's take a little notch back with the relationship now that you're in a marriage and stuff like that. The same things that you guys used to say to us in the beginning to make us laugh, we have to keep that.
Ah,
keep
Exactly.
That's
You
what
keep
have to keep
dating
that,
us.
bro.
Keep
We
dating
have to
us.
keep
get
that.
some
All
man
right,
that's get some
yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
boy.
bro.
Well, on,
Fire.
well,
Watch
let's
out, Priya.
what GQ
Watch
say?
What
out, Priya. You
what
see,
GQ
hold
got?
on there.
Felicia hit him. What
I
she
know
what he
whole
get
night
hit
he
for?
get
No,
the liquid,
GQ.
man.
Wait,
Liquid whole night, and he's like,
GQ.
what's going
Yo,
on over
man.
there? I need to hear
You
what's
see,
going on over there.
most of my cousin them, you see, my little cousin them, when all them book all a female in the street, you see, through them know some he's a Texas alley and thing, cause all of what you, my son and my G in the street, and the man I say, your dog, my book a new girl, and want you send me to text in the car, I know, say, you have you had text them, you know. You see me, I say, dog, a simple one, chief, me shot it to text, man. Because at the end of the day, in can't know, say, I know write that. Me just write a text and we just
what?
forward that text to you, and I say, yo.
What?
And you see, when time I speak lyrics, my lyrics, they must speak like a dragon, you know.
We got for call
You're
you Mister.
trouble. You're trouble. You're,
Uh,
you're
hey,
trouble.
yeah, we got
Trouble.
Mister. We got Mister Itch join the show. So anybody that wanna get itch, we got Mister Itch to give them line.
Ah,
Trouble there. Oh, if I trouble there. Brother, me I tell you. I can't tell me artist in the brother. And them man they lyricists when time them man they come on to female. And
those
them
are
man they no bro.
Rudy.
And them man they bro.
Beautiful
You see
night.
me I say?
No lie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah man. Some days see some man on the street and you tell them say your baby right now the way you neat and nice man. Come like say your child did have every angel a focus when him a make you man. You see
Mm.
me? You just spit some lyrics on them, you just spit some lyrics when you sweep all them off of them foot, man. Tell all them things, make sugar and teeth out them ear.
If we
You
can't
tell
tell
woman
that
that all
girl,
the while, so you can't tell them things, make
can look
sugar
on
and
that
teeth out
girl
them ear.
today and tell them roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, but that like you know be like that like God, long.
Then me like, brother, then the line they gone long time, brother. You look for a woman and say, baby, right now, me there, me a try nouns, pronouns, and the verbs, but you know, say this a beauty, I can't measure with words. I see you spit some lyrics on them, man. You spit. You see me, I say, bro?
Yeah, but
Yo,
we understand the lyrics, right? And
women,
But
then
what
women,
about
keeping
the
up
meaning,
and
right?
women
keeping
notebook.
up.
I gotta get
So
a
it's a
notebook for
difference
lesson.
if you're speaking lyrics to me and then you can't live up to the lyrics that you speak.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's
Check.
one thing to
No.
spit the
All
lyrics,
right.
but you can't live up to the lyrics.
But
Correct.
listen, sometimes the lyrics don't work, the lyrics then just catch woman off guard, you know. You
Hmm.
see me, I
Yeah,
say,
but
cause
you want to catch me
most man
off
are
guard
trickster,
But
you
when
know.
so I can see your
but
representative?
what happened, my G? You see, you send
Most
the
man are trickster, you know. Most man are
and
trickster. So most, all right, you
yeah,
see, most
sure.
man, what
Hear
on the
this
bro?
quick. You
All right, go
send a
on, go
little
ahead.
and for send to a girl. But look at this. A man going to take a drug test and he use his wife urine. When he get to pass the drug test, they tell you he pregnant. So now you give your next guy your lyric, and then the woman might ask you 2 weeks of the life will repeat when you do it,
Yo,
and the text test is gone. We gonna
that
say,
messed up. That messed up.
uh, uh,
Listen to this. He
That
is
messed up,
saying
brother.
it doesn't have to be in the same dialogue or the same phrase, but it has to make sense. So you better
Correct.
make sense.
no,
Correct.
but that wasn't a joke. That was real. You know, when I used to work in the airport, this guy they caught him smoking, and he was smoking every marijuana. Sent him to do a drug test. He knew he was gonna fail. He brought his wife urine. He didn't know his wife was pregnant. They do the test. They says, "Sorry, unfortunately, you are pregnant."
Bro, why you think nowadays when me there road, more time nowadays me just more see woman and me just flirt to them and me just throw some punch and me just and can go in vehicle and me no bother go in vehicle. Like the other day me there streets and me saw one girl and me say, baby, right now me love you like my savings, you know. You look at me going and say, hey, I say you love me, me say me love you like my savings.
Oh,
You see me? Kill him dead. Right now, I kill me that show today, so you know.
Well, it
Right
depends
there,
on
so
what's on your savings. Because if you got some
Exactly.
stocks and bonds
but me
and
not
some
speak but
hundred
you see,
thousand, if you ain't
Thank
got
you.
nothing in your savings, then you won't
that's
love me.
like
Nope.
nothing.
Oh,
So,
oh God,
so,
not
so
she.
what,
She
but
don't like
Cause
exactly
look,
she.
but the
hey
thing is,
Shawndell, look, that's the
Uh,
first thing I was thinking. How much in the savings?
right.
If I
How
look
much
like
in
it,
your
how much
savings?
in
Because
it?
if ain't nothing in there,
Exactly.
well, shit.
that's it. For
Keep
you to find
it.
out. So if you want to fight, like,
Listen this.
I'm
Listen
not
this.
gonna
But
find out
bro,
with those
bro,
words.
No
but you
savings.
see, the thing is, it still falls back to what me say. Cause listen, remember, you know, not every single woman you're gonna meet is really used to a compliment. Is the me say, cause in a
Exactly.
relationship when you're married. Personally, this is just my honest opinion, my 2 cents on this. When you're
Mm-hmm.
married, you still fi bring out your woman on date and still fi PR the nice compliments where you use to get her in the first place. You see
Mhm.
me? Because remember, you build a family and things. Still bring out your wife, bring her some nice place, bring her on dinner same way, you know, the whole works because remember, so on our team and I saw we are gonna build the empire because no man is an island, you know, and the only man that is an island, a Cayman. And if you don't understand the terminology, I'm break it down. Cayman Islands. Remember, K and man, islands. So you put it together, you get Cayman Islands. So the only man who is an island, a Cayman. You understand now?
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have to
So,
make it.
But
hmm?
it's
When I
definitely
hear bro.
And they have to
Love
go
you
join
guys, man.
islands.
We want this life to go more longer, but you are done see the time. Like
Right.
the party them, you know, yeah, the people them is that oh, y'all ain't got to go home, but
Bro,
y'all gotta
but
get out.
bro, if it, you see that live, yeah? We need to do
We
the
love
live
you
yeah, more
guys, man.
often once you guys free still. But my schedule I go kind of busy up still. But whenever I'm free, cause I'm
Yeah, you
soon
good, man.
a month in before I start work again. So
But
whenever I go back in, I kind of busy.
it
But
was a joy having
whenever I
you over
can pick
here,
in,
Angie Q. You're the mistress,
Yep.
y'all always flare it up, man. Yeah, man. We love that straight up.
Yeah,
JQ, you're a boss,
definitely.
still, man. You big up
And we
yourself, man. You
thank you
don't know a
guys
code,
for
brother.
being so
Bless, bless.
vulnerable. You know what I mean? To
I've
where
been
you was
absent
honest
from
and
the
open.
last long time.
And we hope someone that's listening on this live or listen to the replay that you guys will take away something from it. So not only that,
And get inspired and some form of
correct.
inspiration from it. You know.
Yeah,
So
we
not
we
See me, I
only
say?
really do appreciate, from Fire and Shawndell, you know how I feel about you guys, but Felicia and GQ and I don't know what your friend named Fire. I don't know.
that's our tycoon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Tycoon, thank you
Yeah,
guys
man. Thank
for
you.
participating, tonight because, it takes all of us. It takes a village. When
Definitely.
we was talking about how we was raised, we knew we couldn't go outside and do certain things. If we go around the corner, we knew we was gonna get beat by the neighbor and then get beat by our parents when we come home, right? So it takes this village, and I'm so happy that you guys were willing to join in this conversation because it's really near and dear to my heart. Like I said last week, and I thank Shondell and I can't call him Leon, but Shondell and Leon family
Leon.
but
you know,
A white banner name. I tell you what they say. You give me a white man. Hi,
uh,
Leon.
and
Bro,
I have
bro,
Shondell and
bro,
Fire for having this
met
conversation.
Miss Leon.
Huh?
Huh?
bro. You see the thing is, as me tell you, bro. You see,
Yeah,
we can only just build from this, bro. 'Cause as me say, each individual that participated on the live, I value each and every individual opinion, and at the same
correct.
time, as some solid advice, I bring forth to inspire and also know say you can help out individuals who are go through them circumstance and them situation
Correct.
out there same way
Repeat.
because laughter I best therapy for anybody at all. Laughter are the best therapy
Correct.
for anybody at all because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make any sense we have a
And
podcast or we have a
definitely,
reading
and
and it's
definitely,
always going to be just serious and sometimes we have to have a little laugh
Mhm.
same way because you see how everybody
We
have them little
can't hear you,
and them little
Shondell.
struggles with
and
my
and
face. You see, as a
for the
silk boss
ladies
at
that's listen,
450.
He
hold
can't
on.
hear you. He can't hear
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah. You
Shondell.
hear me. You hear me.
As for the ladies, I want to say this to the ladies. I know sometimes, and especially where the men say that they can't talk to us or they don't want to talk to us and then hear it back, or they we prefer to talk to our friends. And sometimes not talking is good because we end up saying the wrong things when we're angry. But what I would do is write a letter or send a text or something or send a WhatsApp message explaining myself, because a lot of times what happen is once we're heated and it gets heated and it heated and heated and heated, you send
Yeah.
a message and then they have to sit and listen to it. So in their quiet time, they're going to hear you. And men, you guys can do the same thing. So in your quiet time, you send, okay, I didn't like how this happened. I don't want it to be an argument, but I want you to hear me.
And it's biblical. The sharpest sword,
Yeah,
your tongue.
correct.
Yeah, so but you gotta put a caveat on that. Send a
That
voice
final
note
word.
because if I gotta type it out, it's gonna bite you just as
Well,
hard as
you
I
see,
would.
WhatsApp
My
is great now. So WhatsApp
word.
and even
My
FaceTime
word.
have the way you can hold a recording and send it. You
Right,
know
but
what I
when you
mean?
say send a message, we
Yeah.
need to be clear that we're not talking about typing out a text message. We're talking about getting calm and speaking that message and not putting it in writing because if I gotta write it, it's gonna bite you the same way if you were in front of me. So we want to make sure we keep it open enough for them to come to us. All right, GQ, your hand raised. Go ahead, take
Yeah.
it.
Now, before exit. Now, ladies, this dedicated to you guys and you guys alone. All right. What you gotta say? Say it quick before I say what you gotta say. Come see what you gotta say quick.
I was saying she was speaking about talking in text. Now, people read text in different contexts.
Right,
So it's better if you voice your opinion than to speak
right.
your thoughts because they can precipitate it however they want to.
Right. It's under
Now,
their interpretation. Exactly. That's why I was like, don't type it out. Do a voice note. Don't type it out.
now, it's not everybody can handle the truth. All right.
Mm,
Sometimes you might
That's a
relate
truth, you know. That's a truth.
significant other or anybody. The truth, some people cannot take the truth. Some people don't like when you tell them the truth. So if you know you
All
can't
right,
do,
check this out, bro.
bite your tongue,
Well, I'm not
listen,
fabricating nothing.
listen, sit down in your quiet moment, think it over before you say what you want
Say
to
it.
say. All
Correct.
right, guys.
All
Correct.
right, you
Love
see, personally,
Yeah, man.
GQ,
but
personally, I believe so, yo, me rather leave certain things unsaid than know say I'm gonna say something that me I go regret. Cause if me love a female unconditionally and me know say yo yeah, me appreciate all of what she a do for me and she appreciate all of what me I do for she and me I the one that messed up. Me I go just know say yo yeah, me try to fix the problem and know say yo me correct all of the mistakes. Once we can correct it, right the wrong, and know say, oh yeah, we try to be a better person going forward. Cause remember, you
boy.
know, and everybody will be like your wife or be like Shawndel&Leon. You know. You see me I say, you have good people out there, you know, but they're hard to find. Cause with Jamil say, nothing wrong with the world, you know. And there's some people in it do too much evil in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Point
Cause
again.
everybody have them demons. Everybody have them demons. That's just mankind. Everybody have them problems. Everybody have them flaws. There is not that perfect being. I just you have to find the person who can match up to your standards and who can work together and build an empire or build empires.
Love you guys. Was a pleasure being here. Until
Yes,
next week,
I gotta go.
we out of here, man. GQ and the wife,
Yeah,
love, our
love
co-host Key.
every
So my brother GQ, bless up yourself, you know, more life and more blessings. Wife, big up yourself, same way. You see what I say? Your boy Tycoon there, and we are checking.
back a
Next
yard
week,
limit.
Where, where's the GQ?
where's
Where
it?
you go yard? No, where you go yard?
Yeah,
Mm.
but they are
Yeah,
yard, man.
yeah, I heard him there, man. A Jamaica he's calling
Yard,
from
man,
right now.
man.
He's from
Okay.
Jamaica. That's my boy from Jamaica,
Yeah,
man.
he's calling all the way from Jamaica.
Country. You see
Oh, and it past his bedtime.
Yes.
it?
Look, even though they are party, I they are road by my hands are easy. Sometimes
Anyway,
about
guys,
3:30, 4 o'clock,
love.
I just have fall in.
Have an
The
excellent
dialogue
night.
was great.
It was
Thank
great.
you.
Y'all keep
You're
Yeah,
me up.
man.
welcome.
Work. So
Same
Yeah,
Flames
man.
Entertainment. Big
Yeah,
up
pleasure,
yourself
man.
all time.
GQ, big up.
Definitely.
Yeah,
No,
man.
yeah, man.
All right,
Same
cool.
Flame was in the check-in earlier,
Okay.
so that's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to everybody that's listening to this and is gonna listen to the replay again. Like we say, thank you and always,
Like be sweet.
you know, continue to love each other, be kind, be mindful of your words, but also be vulnerable enough to know that you can still let your voice be heard.
Of course, definitely. So this is Shawndel and Leon. We saying tata bye bye. We out of here until next week. Do remember to give us a thumbs up. Leave your comments below, even if you're watching back the live. Also, just give us a thumbs up, yeah, leave your comments, and do remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel as yet. Once again, peace, love. We out of here until next week. All right, tata, bye bye. Nobody want done.